Stop right there. Don't be afraid of phrasal verbs and don't make for the door. Stick with me as we talk about some more phrasal verbs, starting with the letter M today. Hi, I'm Phil. I teach English here in the Czech Republic at Maják, and thank you for joining me today. Okay, let's get started. The first one today is make for. At the very beginning, I said don't make for the door. So this phrasal verb, make for, means to move toward a certain direction. So I could say, seeing the tornado, I made for shelter as fast as I could. I saw that there was a tornado coming, so I made for shelter. I made for a safe place. I headed toward it. Make for can also be to tend toward a certain result, or to be received as a particular thing. An example of this could be job descriptions don't usually make for interesting reading. That means job descriptions aren't usually made as this particular thing like interesting reading. That's not why we make job descriptions at all. Or, that novel really made for a great summer read. That was the purpose of this novel. It made for a great thing to read in the summer. It was the purpose, the intended reason for that thing. Make for. And a third one is really similar to the second one. It means ideally suited for a certain function. Ideally suited for a certain function or purpose. So, you two were just made for each other. You were just made for each other. That was the purpose. Your relationship shows that you were just made for each other. Okay, let's go to map out. That means plan a route or course in great detail. Plan a route or course in great detail. Map out. We have somebody on our team that's just very quick, and she mapped out a course of action in just 10 minutes. She mapped out a course of action in just 10 minutes. So you can see with this particular example, it doesn't have to be geography. It can be any sort of course of action that you need to talk about, that you need to plan in great detail. So in this situation, in an office, she planned out a course of action in great detail in 10 minutes. She mapped it out. Let's go from map out to max out. Max out. Max out is to reach an upper limit or a peak, like peak of a mountain, right? So to max out. The car maxed out at 85 miles per hour. That means the car went to 85 miles per hour and it just couldn't go anymore. It was out. It reached the limit of its capability, of its potential. Or maybe more common, unfortunately, she maxed out her credit card last weekend. She went shopping, she bought a whole bunch of stuff, and she put it all on her credit card and she maxed it out. Like there was no more credit available to her. She maxed out her credit card. Measure up. To measure up. To measure up means to be as good at something as expected or to be as good as somebody else or something else. To measure up. So we can see we're dealing with the word measure to see if how high I am, how good I am, who is better. We measure abilities here. But we measure things that are a little more abstract. So you could talk about, I love to go on vacation to a place where I need to speak English. Because then as I learn to speak my English with other foreigners around me who are also on vacation, I can see sort of how my English measures up with somebody else's English. If you're from one country and someone's from another country, but you're both speaking English, you can see how your English measures up. So see how something measures up is just to sort of to compare it and see whose is higher, whose is lower, who has better grammar, in this case with English. See how you measure up. And you can use this not just with English, but in anything that you need to compare. It could be any sort of ability that you want to see how you measure up. Meet up. Meet up. Most of you probably know this one, but it's about different people coming from different places to join in one place. You meet up. So my friend called me, and then we met up for lunch. My friend called me, we made a plan, and we met up for lunch. He came from here, I came from here, we met up for lunch. Mess around, mess around. This means to spend time doing things that are not important, not very helpful, and doing these things without really any purpose or plan. Mess around. So if somebody tells you, he just spent the weekend messing around on his boat, he spent the weekend messing around on his boat. What do you think that means? Well, they were on the boat, of course, but it doesn't mean they were like seriously using the boat, sailing with a specific destination in mind. Maybe they were on the boat like fixing things, just hanging out, relaxing, with no particular thing in mind. If somebody says they're messing around and doing something, it's not very serious, and it doesn't usually have a very specific purpose either. But it can be fun, it can be fine, it doesn't have to be bad. But if you spend the weekend messing around on your boat, you're probably tinkering with things, fixing things, just relaxing, going wherever. You're messing around on the boat. Or my brother likes to mess around with computers. So he might be an IT specialist, like as a job, but maybe on his free time he just messes around with the computers. You would probably see in his room a whole bunch of parts of computers, and he's putting them together. Of course he has sort of a plan in his head, but he just likes to tinker with them, to take parts and see what it does and mix things. It's messing around with computers. Again, it doesn't mean it's bad. Maybe just not a big purpose in mind when you say you mess around with computers. One more example. You could say, I just need to stop messing around and get my work done. I need to stop messing around and get my work done. This means you have been maybe wasting time, not doing the work that you need to do, and it's time to stop that, just being lazy, just doing other things, and actually get the work done. Get that purpose accomplished. So stop messing around and get your work done. And then mess up. We have a couple definitions for mess up. Mess up is make something dirty or untidy. To make something dirty or untidy. You messed up my beautiful sofa. So something happened to make it messy. Probably some dirt or some drinks or some food or something happened on it and it messed it up. It made it dirty or untidy, and now you have to clean it. So you messed up my sofa. Or it can mean you mishandle a situation. You mishandle a situation when you mess up. I really messed up on my presentation yesterday. I really messed up on my presentation. That means something happened in that presentation that made it not so good anymore, and you wish you would have done it better. So you messed up your presentation. And last one today, mark up or mark down. Mark up and mark down. So depending on up or down, it's to add or take away from the cost of something. So if you mark up, you add to the cost. If you mark down, you take away from the cost of something. So the store marked up all their prices last week, and they're a lot more expensive now. The store marked up all their prices last week, and now they're more expensive. Or you can say there's a sale at that store over there, and they've marked down all their prices. It's a great place to shop right now. There's a sale, they've marked down all their prices. Go shopping. Thank you one more time for watching and checking out these phrasal verbs. I know phrasal verbs can be tricky and frustrating and annoying, but they're also a lot of fun when you know how to use them and you know a few situations to use them in. So I hope that this has helped, given a little hope and joy to your English journey. Keep it up and watch for the next one. Thanks a lot.